Okay, so we are going to now focus on the legs. Yeah, the legs is a very challenging part of the workout for a lot of people. It's muscles that are often overlooked. I don't think I need to tell you that if you've ever been to a gym, you see a lot of people real heavy up top. By heavy, I mean muscular, massful. Legs, not so much. It's very common. And legs are challenging. It's a very, very painful burn. If you ever worked your legs, when you work the hamstrings and the glutes, it is a burn unlike any other muscle can feel, but it's amazing. Feels great. You got to strengthen the legs. You cannot avoid the hip down. Again, this is the trunk to your tree. If your legs are not strong enough to hold the weight of your upper body, you're going to start to feel back problems, sciatic, knee issues, ankle issues. Your legs need to be strong in order to function just in life. So by working out your legs, you're just going to give yourself better quality of living. Everyday things you're doing are going to be a lot easier. Climbing upstairs, walking, holding your kid while you're going down the street, groceries. You just want to make sure that you're training your legs just for quality of life. So what we're going to do today with this workout, we're just going to go through a series of 5 or 6 leg workouts that are very universal for everybody, very beneficial, but they're also very basic, meaning you can do them all. And a lot of these workouts, you might want to start with just body weight. Again, I'm using my 15-pounders that I've been using for this whole series. So choose the weight wisely. You may want to try certain workouts without dumbbells just to establish that center balance, because one leg will be off the floor in some of these exercises. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to go with the suitcase squat. One of my favorites. It's a very basic movement. I'm squatting while holding weight. Can't get much simpler than that. First is focus on the formation for the squat. When I'm squatting, I need to make sure my knees are not pulling forward over the tips of my shoes. So in order for my knees to stay stabilized over my ankles, what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit and pull my hips back, just as if there was a chair right here. I'm imagining that I'm sitting back in a chair. So just imagine that you're going to sit in a chair, and you're going to come right here just like that. Bam. See, what's happening is my knees aren't pulling forward. They're lined up. My hips, you'll see they pull back. And I push them forward. That's a basic squat. Pull back, push forward. Hips lined up, feet shoulder width apart. Squatting my hips back. Make sure my upper body does not bow forward, meaning when I'm squatting, I want to make sure my upper body isn't leaning forward. I need to stay straight up. Maintain good posture like we've been throughout these workouts, simply by pulling your shoulders back, pushing your chest out, keeping your chin up strong, and squatting straight back and up, push the hips forward. The breathing tempo for any leg workout for the most part is on the way down. I inhale and I exhale. It's important that you first get comfortable with the basic squat before you start to hold any weight. So let's make sure that your squat feels comfortable, you're controlling your balance, you're not bowing forward, you're not falling back. Again, from the front profile, I keep my hips lined up, my shoes are right underneath my knees to my hips. There's a nice straight line. When I'm squatting, I like to keep my hands up just to make sure that it keeps my upper body up top. This is a great habit to have. With my hands up, it just makes me feel like my upper body is going to be a lot easier to maintain up, as opposed to putting my hands down, and I really don't feel that controlled. So I keep my hands up, I squat straight down, back up. Straight down, back up. Again, it's a squat. You would think that it would just be something we are born in knowing how to do. That is not the case. So make sure you're squatting. Look in the mirror. You want to be able to see yourself. That's important. If your knees are pulling forward when you're squatting, just simply pull your hips back. Even sit in a chair. Train, do that. Look at yourself sitting in a chair. As crazy as that sounds, that's what I'm doing. There's my chair. I'm sitting down. Time to get up. Straight back up. Sit down in the chair. Pop it straight back up. Hips forward. Get comfortable with the squat. Make sure your breathing is good. Inhale down, exhale up. Make sure you're establishing balance. Now you can add the dumbbells, which go into a suitcase squat. So again, I'm holding 15-pounders. I'm keeping them right on the side of my hips, and I'm doing nothing different than what I just did for the past 5 minutes. First, from the profile. Dumbbells stay right in the hip pocket, and I'm just going to squat and do the same thing. Just like this, just like that. just like this, just like that. Inhale down, exhale up. The best way to remember if you're doing it right, it's called a suitcase squat for a reason. You have two suitcases with their handles. You go down to pick them up. Boom. And you just go about your day. Maybe if you're at the airport. If you've ever been at the airport and you're getting your luggage, you pull the handle out, you grab them. If they're a little bit lower than your hips, you have to squat down to pick them up, so you do it just like this. Pick them up, boom, and go about your way. That is what I'm doing. What I'm not doing is this. I'm not bending at my back. I'm dropping my hips, keeping my posture up. Again, you need to keep your lower back safe during all of the workouts you're ever doing. So use your legs as much as you can, so that way your lower back doesn't have to work any harder than it needs to. Keep your stomach tight at all times. Engaging your ab muscles also takes some of that pressure off the lower back. Lower back is a very, very important part of the body. Let's make sure that we keep that part of everything safe. Use the entire part of the hip system, the stomach, the legs. Let them do the majority of the work. So again, suitcase squat from the front. Hands right in the hips, feet are shoulder width apart. Chest pushed out, shoulders back, chin up. Put the suitcases down, pick them back up. Put the suitcases down, pick them back up. From the side, down, up, down, up. Keep the chest out. That way on the bottom, you're not rolling your shoulders in. Chest stays out. Keep that chin up. If you can look up, it'll ensure that your spine stays straight with it. So that's the first one, the suitcase squat. Excellent workout. Start with the squat, then you can progress and hold the dumbbells and knock out your reps. It's going to be the same count, same breathing, same sets as we are been doing for every other part of the body. So keep that foundation. Again, establish a good understanding of working out. Once you get comfortable, you can do this on your own. Then you can start to progress it. Facebook group with me, or you can just continue to educate yourself. Second one we're going to do is the single leg lunge. There's variations to the single leg lunge. The one I like to do is simple and it's effective. So a typical lunge you would see, somebody steps out, comes back. But for this one, I'm going to take a step out and I'm going to leave my leg out. And I'm going to rep it out. Big step right here. So what I want to do is my left leg in the front is the leg I'm lunging. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to bend it. Boom. Back up. Bend it. Back up. Bend it. Back up. Right now I'm exclusively targeting the front of my left quad muscle. Right here. So again, I keep everything lined up tight. I'm holding the dumbbells in my hip pocket. Again, this is another one you'll first try without the dumbbells. If you're falling over left to right, you really need to focus on establishing that balance. And a lot of the times when your balance is getting thrown off with leg workouts, it's just due to lack of strength in the specific areas. So very important that we're strengthening our legs, because that's going to help with your balance, guaranteed. So focus on the form. Take your time. Remember, take your time. Even if you're holding 5-pounders, nobody's watching. And if they are, nobody cares. If they care, it's only because they're jealous because you're better in your life and they're not. That's another conversation though. So let's go right back to it. Remember, just imagine holding the dumbbells. I'm going to take a big step out, just like this. Both my knees are forward. My shoulders are pulled back, chest is out. And I'm just going to bend, lunging, back up. Lunging, back up. Notice I'm not going forward. I don't want to put that pressure on my knee, on my meniscus, my ACL, my MCL. There's a lot of tendons in here. I don't want to risk tearing anything. So I'm going straight down. Everything straight up. Straight down, straight up. Straight down, straight up. You can let that back knee touch the ground just to kind of get familiar and comfortable with it. Then after a while, you can keep that knee off the ground. Again, for me, that's not the most important detail. The most important detail is my front leg getting the full range of motion on 90 and then powering up off that leg. 90 and then powering up off that leg with the dumbbells in hand. One leg, I'm going to do 15 reps, then I'm going to switch. And depending on how many sets you're doing, you might do each leg 2 or 3 times. Again, do the weight that you can handle. Maybe one of the sets is free without any weight. Again, learn yourself, learn what you can and can't do at first, progress, then you'll start to educate. Once you're done with about a month of this, you're going to realize real quick that I actually taught you something. That you learned something. That's pretty much the whole purpose of this entire program, to teach you what you would pay thousands to learn inside of a gym with a trainer, me, when you can even have to step foot into a rat race gym sometimes, especially at 5 p.m. I'm giving you the inside scoop. So take it, educate it, learn it, keep those thousands of dollars in your pocket. So let's go to the third one, which is a hamstring variation of a lunge. This is one of my favorites. Now for this one, definitely start without dumbbells. I'm going to use a bench. You can use anything that you rest your leg on, which is pretty much anything you can find that has a flat surface. So let me get a little bit closer for that one. I'm going to put the base of my foot right on it. Notice how I've got the top of my foot on it. I don't like to do that because I don't have as much balance. See, right? I'm already falling over. Embarrassed. Foot flat. Now, with the stabilization in place, I'm just going to take a couple of hops forward, just like this. Now, without dumbbells at first, all I'm going to do is lunge back right here. What I'm isolating is my glute and this hamstring coming up. Going down, coming up. Right now, this is the muscle that's firing off. By keeping it elevated, it puts all of that resistance right here on the hamstring and the glute. Excellent workout. This is very safe on my knees. Again, your balance does get tested because one leg is off the ground, especially if you're holding weight. So I like to hold a dumbbell in each side of my arm so that way I'm not falling over left to right. If any time you're falling over, you just drop the dumbbells if you're holding them. So again, this front knee is bending 90, but I'm lowering this like a crane. Back up. Lowering it like a crane, back up. Like a crane, back up. Doing that without weight, you'll be able to feel the workout and get a nice, good effective muscle fiber push right in the back, right in here. You're gonna feel the burn. So again, this might even be a workout you go down to the dumbbells. Again, slowly fill your comfort zone as far as balance, stability, and just overall leg strength. So you're doing each side of the elevated lunge, is what I guess we can call it that. Again, this is exclusive to focus on the back of the leg. The leg that is up on the bench is the leg that I'm working. So I take a step out, I keep everything lined up, I'm going down, back up. Down, back up. Do it without the weights, maybe the first set, add little weights the second set, then from there on and on and on. And as you get stronger, the more weight you're gonna hold. Balance is first. Balance and safety of the knees and the lower back. So we've done the suitcase squats, the single leg lunge, the reverse hamstring lunge. Now we're gonna go into the sumo squat. Sumo squat is very similar to the regular basic squat. Only difference is, now what I do, let me move this out of here, is I open my hips. I turn my hips, my knees, and my toes 45 degree. Just like that. And then I'm going to do a squat. I'll first do it without the weight, then I'll show you how you can hold the weight so that way you can focus on this one. So now what I'm doing when I'm squatting, I'm going straight down, but you're going to notice my knees are flaring out. The reason why I want to open them up is so I can target the inner part of my hamstrings and the inner part of my quad. Right inside here. So simply by opening up my hips, I'm still squatting straight down, back up. Almost looks like a cricket. If I turn sideways, my knee is going to flare out, pop back up. If I'm holding weight, whether it's one or two, I like to hold them just like this. Just like that. Touching, rest. Elbows tight. Turn the toe out. Squat it. Exhale up. Inhale down. Exhale up. This is a great, great workout. You're going to work all around the interior, exterior part of the inside of the legs. You're targeting the quads, the hamstrings, the glutes. You got to make sure that you're targeting the entire part of the leg. So it's just by positioning the legs in different angles, you're going to start to get those muscles inside the muscles. So that's an excellent one, sumo squat. The next one is the step up. So with this one, two options. So option one, I hold the dumbbell in each hand. If I'm going to do option one, which is this, make sure that you try it without weight to, again, establish your balance. I start with one foot on the bench, foot flat. Dumbbells on the sides of my hips. The dumbbells will stay where they're at. My arms will not be moving at all. They are simply holding them in place. My right leg is going to step up, knee up to the hip, back down. That's all I'm doing. Putting this here, knee up to the hip, back down. So again, do this without weight so you can find out real quick that that when I do that, especially if I'm holding weight, this is gonna happen. So make sure you go slow. Make sure you're only coming up as high as you feel comfortable. Again, little by little, this knee can come off the ground, even if it's that. Even if it's that. Little by little. Little by little. Little by little. Take your time. This is the muscle I'm working. Every time I step up and down, this muscle's working. So I make sure it starts 90 degree. That was weird. And then ends 90 degree. The planted leg is simply coming up to the hip, knee. Boom, back down. Same thing, posture up tall. That way you're not leaning forward and you don't go up and fall forward. Keep it straight up and straight down. If there's an issue with balance, post this against a wall or a pole so that way you can hold on to something. And if that's the case, then you hold one dumbbell. You'll be a lot safer on the balance, holding something, and just going straight up and down. Boom, back down. Boom, back down. And you're gonna do that a few times each leg. This is excellent. Great leg burn, great leg burn. Doing it with the dumbbell for reps, doing it without the dumbbell for time. Great way to get a good burn in those quad muscles. Try it with the weight and without the weight. That way you can kind of feel the difference. You might even piggyback them together. Again, I can customize something that I do for myself. Anytime you want, just hit me up on the Facebook group. But the step ups are excellent to exclusively focus on the quad. Very, very good burn. The last one we're gonna do is for the calves. You cannot touch your legs with weights unless you're also touching up the calves. Please, listen to me when I say this. That's a muscle. That's a muscle right here. Right in the back. This thing is a muscle. You know what else is a muscle? This thing, your shin. You see what's happening? That's a muscle flexing. You ever heard of shin splints? It's due mainly in calves because they're not training the muscle on the shin. Very simple mentality is, if I'm going to hit muscles on my body, it's probably wise to hit all of the muscles on my body. Very, very common. Most people never touch the shins. People do calves, calf raises, which is what you're going to do. But the shin is equally important. It's on the front, right underneath the kneecap. You should want to take care of yourself. The calf raise is a very simple workout, but extremely beneficial. A couple ways to do it. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a weight plate on the floor, just to simulate what I'm talking about. Be right back. Okay, so I'm going to do it just by simply stepping up on this platform. I'm just going to put this to hold on. I can do it variations of ways. The whole goal is to get a good flexion on my calf muscle. So this is an easy way to do it bent over style. Posted. I'm going to put my shoes halfway off of a platform. So whatever you're standing on, just try to get it about 6 to 12 inches from the floor. And that's where you put the front of your shoe. So I'm gonna stand on it just like this. Notice, this is just me posting without all body weight. If you've never done calf workouts, don't touch weight yet because you won't be walking for a week. Start off just doing body weight. So again, I got just about 2 to 3 inches of my shoe on it, and then my heel is gonna drop as low as I can. I'm just gonna squeeze. Drop, squeeze. Notice, I am not using any squatting motion. It's all calves. Squeeze. Squeeze. I'm going at this tempo. Simply lifting my heel, dropping it just before it hits the ground. Full range of motion. Full range of motion. That is a beautiful burn right on the calves. It don't take much. It does not take much. If I want to do that with weight, well, again, I can do the same thing that I was doing with the step up. Post on a wall. I don't have a wall here, but just imagine I did. Imagine I had a wall right here. And as I'm doing these, I'm doing the same thing. All the way down and up, holding a dumbbell. Adding weight is just, it's fun, but you don't have to use weight, trust me. Doing the calves is very, very easy to do. Just do it. That's it. Most people just don't do it, so I can't answer why. It's not that hard, it doesn't take that long. Same thing when I'm hitting the shins. Now what I do is I bring my heel 2 to 3 inches off of it. And then I'm gonna drop my toe down and lift down and lift. Just like this. All I'm doing is like a curl, like a wrist curl, any curl, a curling motion. It does wonders for our muscles. I mean, I'm lifting my own body weight. This is all I'm doing. Literally all I'm doing. I do this about twice a week. And I do a lot of kicking from my martial arts. So strengthening my shin muscle is pretty much a must. So you want to make sure that you're targeting every muscle. Do not exclude the shins. Do not exclude the calves. Lifting up the toe, back down. Up the toe, back down. Again, if you have a wall to post on, it's even easier to do it. Again, all I'm doing is just a calf raise. That's it. Calf raise. When I elevate my foot off the ground, it gives more range of motion for my heel to drop up and down. Same thing. If I'm putting the tips of my shoes over it, all I'm doing is coming up, flexing my shin. Flexing my shin. Add these to your workouts. Whatever else you're doing, if you've never done these workouts for your shins and calves, add them. You'll notice right away. You're going to be sore. You're going to loosen them up. They're just going to feel stronger. You're going to just have a lot better balance. Because these are the lowest muscles on the body, right above the feet and ankles. So you need to take time to strengthen them up. So you got your suitcase squats. Boom. Put them down. Bring them back up. You got your single leg lunge. The ones that we were doing. You take the step out and you isolate that leg exclusively. Then you switch sides. You've got the elevated lunge. 1 foot up top. Nice and long. Drop it. Back up. You got the sumo squat. Up. Toes and knees pointed out, dumbbells harbored right over the chest, squat it out, push them back up. And you've got the step up. Remember, if you're going to do one leg, focus on control with balance. If you post against the wall, it just gives you a lot more balance stabilization. Hold the dumbbell straight up and down. Then you got the calf raises and the shin raises. Again, you can do that with weight if you're posting up, but start without weight. Do that for the first week or two without weight, just to get those muscles moving, because if you've never done it before, you don't need weight. You're going to feel it right away. They take a couple of days to recover. So make sure that you're stretching. Foam roll. Calves, foam roll, go hand in hand. They're the ultimate couple. So try it out. Foam roll after this leg workout or before. Just make sure that you take the time to stretch, especially after the legs. Anybody that's ever trained legs, you know it don't get easier. It burns the same. You just grow and you get better. So try them out. Again, 2 to 3 sets of each workout. Make sure your breathing stays under control, giving yourself 40 to 60 seconds of rest in between the sets, and you're drinking plenty of water. Use these workouts as your staple. These are all good leg workouts. You can do these ones for a 5 to 6 week program with the rest of your dumbbell workouts, and you're going to notice results guaranteed. That's not even an opinion of mine, that's a fact. I've been doing them myself. These are a lot of the workouts I do. So I'm telling you, they work. So try them out. Questions? Message me on the group. And I will see you over in the next one. See you there.